Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I wanted to test out like very easily accessible day one T0 Abyss fit for the Kestrel. I've been talking many times about potentially going for T0 T6 Abyss series with the missile based ships, so maybe going through a different route than going like Amar based, because right now we're going very Amar based. We're with Punisher, Retribution, Zealot. I wanted to just test out some fits here. It's not like we're starting a new series right now, but I want to just test out some fits because I think that you can make some pretty decent Kestrel fits for T0 if you have the right kind of fit. So I'm testing out a rocket fit Kestrel right here. It's a passive fit actually, and I'm going to use this for T0 Dark. The reason I'm going for Darks is because I'm thinking that, okay, there is a benefit of going for like a resist profile filament, like, you know, electrical firestorm that reduces certain type of resist, because it'll be good because you can increase your DPS and so it'll reduce the enemy DPS. But the benefit I see of going with a dark side is it's going to make us go really fast. We're going to be able to get close and personal to the enemy very quickly, so we'll be in range to use, for example, rockets. Rockets is what we're going to be using now. So that is something that we could use. Otherwise, I think that it could be an option. Say you were to make a line of ships for the Abyss, I think it would actually be best to use missiles. And the issue I see with light missiles is that it's hard to achieve a very decent amount of DPS with light missiles when you're in like a very new character. It's easier when you got the rocket launchers. Otherwise, I would like to use light missiles, because if you've got light missiles, you can then progress to a Hawk, and then you could also progress to a Gila after that, for example, because you could use the light missiles there too. So I think that I would like to use light missiles. The issue I have is I can't get enough DPS, because I have trained some skills. I'll show you the skills I've trained with this character right here. If we go in history, skills, these are all the skills I've trained right here, so it's not that many skills. I've used the 1 million skill point package you can get by using the link in the description down below. So I've used 225,000 skill points. This is what I got with it. We'll see how it goes. With the Caldari Navy, we get 100 DPS. I think that's a good amount of DPS to have when you start out. So we'll go with Tranquil Dark, because I was trying to find like a light missile based fit. And the issue was that I was only getting like 70 DPS. You can see I've applied a few skill points in light missiles over here because I was just testing it out. And it didn't really seem to be that great, because 70 DPS I think will not be enough to break the tank of the Skybreaker Disparu troop, which is a type of enemy NPC you can encounter in the T0s, which can be quite problematic because it has a very heavy shield HP or shield recharge rate. So we got a passive fit right here, and the reason I went with passive fit was just because I felt like it fit really nicely. I was fully utilizing my power grid and using a lot of my CPU without having to use particularly any fitting rigs, and I think 11 HP is okay, but we've got a somewhat decent buffer because we've got a medium shield extender and a multi-spectrum shield hardener as well. We're going to go like decently fast when we're in the dark side, probably over 1k a second. So it should be alright. I hope it's going to be alright. We got 9km range as well, which I think will be decent range. There was some sort of aspects of the fit that I don't like. It's the price. I would like to have a lot cheaper price, preferably in this kind of T0 kind of stuff. I want to have 5 million. I think 5 million is a good basis of a price. It's a good like average of a price to have for these low tier filaments, because I feel like stuff over 5 million is going to feel too harsh to lose, and it wouldn't feel nice for a new player to lose like 16.9 million right here. So that's a downside of this fit right here. I feel like almost if you have this fit, you could this price, you could go like Caldari Navy hook bill. I say, how what's the price of this? 12 million. So, but the fit is going to cost a little bit more. But if we go over the Kestrel fit that we have over here, there are some aspects of this fit that make it quite costly. First off, the rocket launchers are a bit pricey. It's 2 million. The extender is quite pricey, 4 million. That is actually one of the most priciest modules we've got. And then the ballistic control systems, they're not that bad. The rig here, this is a bit expensive. And then, what is the other costs here? Purger is not much. This is costing a bit. Multispectrum. And then the ammo costs quite a bit. So we could start out with a bit less ammunition and also use like a bit less, because you can see here, 2 million for each stack of this ammunition right here. So this is a lot cheaper. So something I was considering was to downgrade the shield extender, not downgrade, but change it to be the Azeotropic one, which is a lot cheaper. But the issue is the power grid is a bit overloaded right here. But that could perhaps be solved by a skill or two, or a basic implant. The Bayloading Accelerator could also be altered, but I really like the DPS. The ammo could be altered to be a little bit less, so it could have maybe, instead of 10,000, 1,000, like this, 1,000. So it costs less, 10 million. The rockets could also be altered to be a bit cheaper. We were to remove this rig, 2 million, and then these rocket launchers also cost like 2 million. So launcher, could actually check what is the difference in price. Malkuth, let's check the different damage types or the different DPS right here. So let's see now, 61, 61, 61. This DPS is 19.9, 18.8, 21. So OE520 is the best. So we use the OEs. Let's go with this. Oh, look at that, a lot less DPS than the Arbalest we had over there. But we actually know it's because we've got the Bayloading Accelerator as well. The small Bayloading Accelerator needs to be there. So go with this. 94, which is less than the Arbalest. The Arbalest gives us 100. And the Arbalest is also better at fitting as well. That's very unfortunate that the price is like this. That these are so much better, but it's just the way it is. But I want to try this anyway. I want to just see how it feels to use a passive fit in the T0s, especially with like a low skill character as well. So going to buy this, multi-fit, and get to work. It should be alright. I don't see why it wouldn't work. I want to see the feeling of getting close to the enemies with in the dark side, because we're going to go really quickly. The enemies are also going to try to get close to us too, because they're going to be like having very low optimal range, so make them want to get close to us. So that'll also be a way for us to gain range and get close quickly. The main reason not going for light missiles is just that we don't have the DPS. If it was enough DPS, I would definitely go for light missiles, because then I wouldn't have to worry about the dark side, everything being close or not close. And then it would also be nice because we would do damage all the time, not just when we are really close. Safe. See if this turns out to be pretty good. Also the former fleet. And then probably explosive would be the first one to use. And disable passive modules too. Curious how the passive fit will feel in the darks, because usually people don't use passive fits in darks. 3 frigates activate for fleet. We go only 800 meters a second. With extra skills we could probably hit almost 1k a second, I think. Especially if you were to have a Tech 2 Afterburner, but that would be like a lot further down the line. Okay, let's see how quick we go. So 1.2k a second, that's pretty quick. What is the optimal damage type here? Probably thermal. So we'll just approach these guys and just blast away. Seems like the tank is okay. We're not shooting, because it's hard for them to hit in the dark side, and we should be hitting pretty well. Yeah, it's going pretty smoothly. Yeah, that's very nice to see. There are blast needles though. There were spark needle or the fire ones, then it would be a bit annoying, because of thermal and EMR lowest resists. Make this inventory a bit smaller. Okay, that was pretty easy right there. Now, our best test for this would be the Skybreaker Disparate Troop, just because it's got the most tank, and we really want to see it. Make sure that we can like break that, and then if we can break that, then there is a good sign that our fit is able to do the T0 Abyss. Popped. Oh wait, never mind. I have to do another volley. Let's get close to this. 600k. And what we've got over here. Striking Damavic, okay. We'll want to go explosive here. I think explosive is the best damage type to do. Yeah. It might be thermal actually, just because he's got low thermal resistance shield. His shield is also something to take into consideration. Because we do like no damage to his shield almost, or like very low damage compared to how much we would do if we had thermal missiles. 20% versus 50%. but the majority of his tank is in the armor. So I guess it is good because you can see how slow the armor is going. Even with explosive, it would have gone even slower with thermal. Popped. Okay, we've got 30% shields lost, so we've got a pretty decent tank. Well, that's actually a really good tank. Yeah, that was actually really good in terms of survivability. I didn't go too slowly either. But really nice if there was a way to get that power grid boost. I wonder what kind of skill we could train to get a little bit extra power grid. Like train a power grid level, because you've already got a decent power grid level to level 4 initially. So you would probably need to train some kind of like skill that reduces the power grid of some modules. I wish there was one that maybe reduced it for shield extenders, but I don't know if there is one. Advanced weapon upgrades would be good, but this is a pretty costly skill. You need 1,300 ISK for the skill, but this would be a possibility. Energy grid upgrades, CPU. Reduction in the CPU. A lot of CPU stuff. Spark needle. Ooh. These guys will do a bit of damage. EM based drones. But nothing we can't handle, or nothing we can't handle, I think. I think thermal will be good. Yeah, they're hardly hitting anything anyway, so it's alright. Oof, big hits right there. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Pretty decent. Look at the spark needle over here. You can see he's doing quite a bit of damage. We're at half shields now. Just because he's doing a lot more than before. He's just doing EM damage here. Go towards the biocompetitive cache. Popped. Ah, shields are pretty strong either way. You can see they're recharging. Let's go. Origin conduit. Okay, so that went pretty smoothly. Pretty happy about that. Like, if you want to get the price a bit down, you could ditch the medium shield extender, and if you want to, you could train the advanced weapon upgrades to level 1. It costs 1.3 million ISK for the skill book. You could also, what you could do is buy a basic implant, but that costs about 1 million ISK as well. So probably I would go opt in for the skill right here. So we could actually just do this right now. Buy and inject. And then we just train 1 level. Is this actually turrets and launches? Yeah, so we train just 1 level. Just 1 level. So then we can actually go with the Aziotropic. Azio. You can see here, we already shaved off a bit of ISK of the price of the ship. Then, what else? The rocket launchers. I don't really see what we could do to make the rocket launchers cheaper. Because I want DPS. I don't want to sacrifice DPS. That's the main thing I want here. We want to have as much DPS as possible. So unfortunately, this is probably what we're going to want to have. This kind of setup right here. With the expensive rocket launchers. Perhaps, if the tank is enough, you could go with the cheaper rocket launchers. Maybe even the Tech 1 ballistic control systems. They're even cheaper there. And the Tech 1 payloading accelerator. Like, you reduce your DPS. But what you could do is you could go in maybe like a Firestorm. Because in the Firestorm, it'll reduce the thermal resist. And our main like DPS bottleneck is for the Skybreaker Disparu Troop. Because he has the most amount of HP per second tank. And his lowest resist is EM and thermal. They're equal. So I think it could be an option to go for the Firestorm. Because then we could go for the thermal missiles, and the Skybreaker does EM and kinetic, I believe. So it won't affect his incoming damage as well. So it could be an option to go for the Firestorm with this. Maybe we would try that actually later. We could see. We could see if we could go with like a cheaper style. But it's hard to encounter the Skybreaker because he's a pretty like a rare kind of NPC. We'll see. But that's just some thoughts that you could maybe opt in for Firestorms if you would want to go with a bit of a cheaper, lower DPS fit, because you'll sort of compensate by the enemies having their resist reduced, at least when it comes to the Skybreaker, which is the main reason to have more DPS. Okay, but that's it. T0 Kestrel. I'll be continuing to make developments. I think it's quite fun to make these like basic fits for new bros, stuff that you can start out very quickly, straight away, get up and running, doing stuff in EVE Online. I think it's quite satisfying. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.